Hello, and you join me here at Windy Bum, where the postman has just been, and I have received a 48-hour tracked and signed for package from Kingbolen, and they provide a range of very useful aftermarket tools, and they have sent me one for me to try out, test, review, and I'm going to do exactly that, and I will show you how it works. And they have sent me the BM550 battery analyzer, and I'm rather excited to try this. I don't have one, I've never had one, and my only method of battery testing has been to put them on charge or just trust to luck, or if I'm feeling really technological, put my multimeter on it. But multimeters are a bit fiddly. I don't really know how to work them. And this looks nice and simple. So, well, let's get it open and see what it's all about. Well, here's the first plus in my book anyway. You don't need a chainsaw to get into this thing. You can just open it up like that. That makes a pleasant change these days, doesn't it? Now then, what have we got here? Okay. Right, well that's nice and easy. And there are no lengthy and complicated instruction manuals in 64,000 different languages that take several days to get through and that you need a microscope in order to view. That is really very simple indeed. Even I stand a chance of understanding this. So that bodes well. And okay, well, the first thing we need to note about this is that it has no independent power, which I think is a plus, because it's a pain in the bum having to fiddle about with batteries and pulling something out of the drawer only to see that the batteries are not working. So this unit actually takes its power from the battery that it is testing. So the first thing to note is that if you put this on a battery and it doesn't fire up, then your battery is absolutely cake-offed. Right then, let's give this a proper test. I'm going to get my slave battery out of the pantry, and that battery hasn't had any charge put through it for about a month. So let's see if this thing will do the job. Welcome to my pantry of hidden delights. This is the chap that we're after. Okay, so I'm learning as I go here. So first of all, it's asking for the battery type. It appears to be suggesting 12 volts, so I will press OK. Now it's asking for the CCA, which is the cold cranking amps. Now, you don't really need to know what that means. It's an indication of how much the battery kind of has in reserve to start a car under particular circumstances. You will see a label something like this, and the CCA is the final figure, and on this battery it's 640 amps because this is quite a heavy duty battery. So let's program that into the doings. Now I must admit I am a typical man. I haven't read the instructions. We're going to see if we can just find our way through this by intuition. So 640 is the figure that we need. Okay, it seems to be going up in increments of 5, so we will whiz, 15, 25, 30, 35, 40. CCA 40, okay. Right, and it's showing us that we have a CCA of 113, which is obviously considerably below where it ought to be. And the little tester is quite rightly identifying that as poor. Now, I think at this stage we can use the arrows to scroll through and get some different readings. Okay, so we have We have a voltage showing of 12.03, and again the tester is suggesting that is poor, entirely as expected. As I say, this battery hasn't had a charge through it for quite a long time. The internal resistance is also, and again correctly, showing as poor. The state of charge is at 5%, which again is quite clearly poor. And the state of health is 3%, and again that is identified as poor. So I'm going to call that really an excellent success. It clearly works. It's clearly identified the battery in the state that it's in, which is as I would expect it to be. And what I'll do now is I will put the battery on charge, on a trickle charge overnight, and we'll have another look with this little tester tomorrow and see what a night of charging does to the battery. And then, thanks to this little chap, we'll know if we've got a viable battery or not. See you tomorrow. Now, this is really useful. The little tester has told us that this battery is in a parlour state. I've put it on a trickle charge, and it's showing as being fully charged, ready and maintaining. But our tester has told us that it's clearly not, which suggests to us that the battery is in fact shot. And indeed, that's why I took it off the car and replaced it in the first place. So that's very useful information. But let's put the tester on a battery that we know is good to make sure that it reads that correctly also. I'll be right back. Right, so we're going to have a look at the battery on my little MGF here. And there it is. Let's go and get the tester. Okay, so I presume that having been removed from the power source, the tester will have reset itself. So let's get it attached and see what the score is. So again, we're going to go through the same process we did as before. We select 12 volt. Then we need to input the CCA, which for this battery is the same as the last one. It's 640 amps. Oh, look, if you keep the button pressed down, it fairly whizzes up. 35, 40, okay. And we wait for the reading, and okay. So the amperage is showing as 553, which despite being below the theoretical level of the battery, is being identified as good. Let's scroll through the options. Okay, so the voltage is 12.4, which is exactly where it should be, and again this is showing as good. The internal resistance is showing as 4.69, again good. The state of charge is showing as 66%, and again that is showing as good. And finally, the state of health is at 75%, and again that is good. So that shows us that we've got no concerns with this battery, unlike the duff one in the pantry. So there we are then, the Kingbolen BM550 battery analyzer. And I would say, what a useful bit of kit. It seems to work absolutely as it should. It gives you genuinely useful information, and most of all, it's easy to use even for somebody who has got no mechanical experience or ability like myself. The instructions are really quite clear. The unit itself is very easy to use. It's nice and easy to store, and it doesn't use batteries, which is just such a plus. So to remind you, you just attach it to the battery, black to negative, red to positive, obviously. You enter in the battery type, and if we're playing with cars, it's always going to be 12 volt. You put in the CCA that you will find on your battery, and it will be the 3-digit number with A after it. And then it will automatically give you your results, and you scroll through them using the up and down arrows. And there's a helpful little tip section here that will show you exactly what each reading actually means. And yeah, I am very, very happy to recommend this. I think it's a really useful little addition to your toolkit. Now, I should make it absolutely clear that I am not in any way, shape or form being paid to provide this test and review. The company contacted me and they asked me if they could send me one of these for me to try. They didn't put any conditions on that. They didn't say that I had to give a positive review. They just sent it to me to try. And this is my genuine reaction to it. I think it is a really, really useful little tool. I'm really glad to have it, and I would definitely recommend it to anybody else. I'm sure there are more sophisticated things out there for the professionals amongst you, but I'm not a professional. I'm just a car enthusiast with a small fleet of fairly elderly cars at home. And especially over the winter, batteries can be an issue. And this is a really, really useful little tool to have in your armoury. In the description below this video, I will provide a link to where you can buy one of these on Amazon. So you have all of the security of buying through Amazon and buying through a trusted payment source and so on and so on and so on. And your little battery analyzer will be, in my experience, whizzed out to you by 48-hour postage and will be well packaged. So there you go. I hope you found this useful. If you do go out and buy one of these chaps, or, well, you don't even need to go out. You can buy it via the interweb from the comfort of your own bungalow without even having to take your slippers off and put your shoes on. And if you do buy one, I wish you joy of analysing your batteries. Okay, and that's it from me. Thank you again to the guys at Kingbolen for sending me this, and I'll see you again with some tests and reviews on useful little bits of kit for the home motor enthusiast. Thanks very much.